Well, there we go. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Ken here, and I'm super excited to be with you today. I've got an incredibly special guest. I've got the one and only Daven Michaels. Some say he is one of the world's foremost experts on outsourcing. And we're going to do something really special today because, you know, the authority factor is all about unwrapping the expertise, find out exactly how they got where they are today and those key little pivots that happened along the way. We're going to get started in just a second. Hey guys, you know the drill. If you're loving the content and you want more videos like this, then you got to subscribe to my channel. Click that subscribe button below and hit the notifications, because I'm going to give you all the content that you could ever dream of for building a 7 or 8 figure coaching business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Daven Michaels, how are you, brother?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, man, couldn't be doing any better. Whereabouts are you at today?
So today I'm at my home in Puerto Rico. And by the way, you were talking about unwrapping. We didn't have a chance to talk about this prior to the stream, but you did ask me to bring a gift. Just to let you know, I do have it. So if you want to give it away, we can do that.
Awesome. Thank you very much, my man. It's good. So you're in Puerto Rico right now.
That's
you're
right.
in the middle of this lockdown, I guess.
Yes.
How's things in Puerto Rico?
Well, actually, we were on my book tour, as you know, in the South. We'll talk more about that, I guess, in a bit. And I flew out my girlfriend, Liz, so that we could hang out. And then I was so busy on the tour that we didn't get to see each other at all. So I promised her we'd spend the weekend at Dollywood. We'd both never been. And they were open. And then the day before we were supposed to go, they shut down Dollywood. So we had a choice. We could kind of go anywhere in the world. And, we thought about going to Vegas. And then we thought about just coming back home to Puerto Rico. And so we came to Puerto Rico, and I think it's a good thing we did. The second we got here, they shut it down. We were the first territory in the U.S., I think, to shut down. And as a result, we've been on lockdown for a month, and there's only 1,000 cases of COVID in Puerto Rico on a population of 3.5 million. And I'll just kind of show you where I'm at right now. Not a bad place to be if you have to be on lockdown. It's raining today, but, it just rains for a few, and then it'll be beautiful and sunny in a little bit. I'd walk you all the way out there, but it's raining, so I don't want to get my computer wet. But yeah.
And I know it's a tough life, but you actually gave up a crazy penthouse in the Las Vegas Strip to move to Puerto Rico to that lifestyle.
I did, and we had a killer penthouse. Totally two different lifestyles, but both awesome. And I wanted to keep it, but we only spent a couple months a year in it in Vegas, and we couldn't rent it out because it's a big building. They wouldn't let us do Airbnb. So it just didn't make sense to keep it. So we got rid of it. But now we just stay in hotels when we're in Vegas, and our daughter's in Vegas. So
you did the wholesale move though, right? Like you brought down the sports cars, you moved your whole life down there.
I did. We did. We imported our cars to, which is, it was challenging. One car, our Audi, we had all kinds of problems with. But the cool thing is I have a BMW i8. It looks like a rocket ship. You've seen it with the fins and the gull-wing doors and stuff. And that was easy because Puerto Rico has some really cool laws and legislation in place. And if you have a car that plugs in, you can ship it over here for free, like no import taxes.
Wow.
Which made me a ridiculous amount of money. And it's super easy. The other car, the Audi, was a huge pain in the butt. The BMW was so easy. It didn't cost any money. And the hilarious thing is my car literally goes 19 miles on electric. That's it. That's only 19 miles. It's a plug-in electric, but because it has a plug, I got it over here for nothing, which is awesome. And it's totally overkill in Puerto Rico. Nobody has a car like that over here, but it's pretty fun.
That's crazy, my man. Well, listen, let's jump into it because I promised everybody that we'd completely get into a couple topics here. We want to talk about outsourcing because the biggest challenge that entrepreneurs have as they're transitioning into these coaching practices is how do they do everything as one person? And of course, I was introduced to 123 Employee, and Pam has made my life super, super easy. And my business is growing faster than ever because of my virtual assistant, which you introduced me to. So we want to talk about that.
You even told me like it was hard to keep up because she was setting up so many appointments, right?
Crazy. We had to slow it down and assign other duties to her so that she didn't create so many appointments so fast. I've never ever seen anything like this. And you know what was really neat is I got a chance to go over there. Just ironically, I was over now.
You were at one of our offices. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And it's just fascinating. But the other side of what we're doing here is how you actually grew 123 Employee. Believe it or not, you used a system I called the authority factor. And I'm going to prove this to you.
No, you're totally right. I already know. I never thought about it, but yeah, absolutely. 100%.
It's just fascinating to see it. So I want to talk a lot about that as well. But let's start at the beginning. I've heard the story before. You were a crazy teenage 20-year-old event promoter in California, but I think the folks watching the show are going to be interested in hearing about that.
Sure. So, mine's an entrepreneur story. I always thought my story was special. But honestly, now that I've traveled the globe, spoken on stages all over the world, hung out with entrepreneurs all over the world, I know that if you're an entrepreneur and you're watching this, you have a story too, and it's probably equally as remarkable. But I was 15 when I started my first business. I had no clue what the heck I was doing. I was designing clothing for music groups, like bands, and this was the bands of the 80s. And if you're as old as I am, you probably remember these bands. And none of these bands had anything going on. Most were playing their garage or very small venues. So really, the first thing there, you could just tell how stupid I was because you don't work with people that don't have money, right? You want to work with people that have money. But anyways, I was passionate about it. And a short while after I opened for business, MTV came on the air, changed the face of music, changed my life. I was working with these bands that had nothing going on. Within about 90 days, most had record deals. Within about a year, they were selling millions of albums. And we rode that wave. And I found myself working with some of the biggest bands in the 80s and 90s: Prince, Madonna, Cyndi Lauper, Thompson Twins, actors like Jack Nicholson, all kinds of cool people. As a matter of fact, Jack put me on the map, which is another cool story. But anyway, so that business took off. After a while, we exited that business. I had a telecommunications company, which is not that exciting, although we did do really well. But what the next one that was exciting was I ended up becoming the biggest electronic music event producer in the U.S. I think it was 26, right?
Wow.
And when I started, it was like this total underground scene. And when I exited, we had like 15, 20,000 people a night. I had to rent amusement parks to hold the people, and that was cool. And because of that built-in fan base, I had a short career as a recording artist, pretty long career as a music and television producer. I really wanted to be a rock star. And so I put out a couple records and I went on tour, and that was cool. And then people started to ask me to write and produce, and I started doing that. And it was chugging along. It was mostly electronic music. And then my partner, Layla, discovered Tupac. And that plummeted me into the hip hop world. I did Prince, what am I saying? I did Black Eyed Peas, Coolio, Samantha Mumba, Pac after he was dead, not while he was alive. And it was a blast. And that was my early years in business. Yeah. I guess we should talk about how I ended up starting 123. So I had a publishing deal with a producer who's one of my best buds. I credit him in my books for kind of opening the door. In one of my books, Outsource Smart, which became a New York Times bestseller. If you look at the dedication, it says dedicated to my buddy Ian, who gave me the keys to the kingdom, because he had a publishing deal in Asia, and he was buried in it, and he asked me to help him out, and I did. And that put me in Asia several times a year. And from there, we ended up opening a little outsourcing company that was really just an extension of our own business. We failed. Well, at one point I said, maybe we could offer this as a service. We failed a few times before we figured it out because back then the infrastructure wasn't there. It was a very challenging time. I mean, it sounded like we were talking through tin cans. I mean, it was tough. But eventually we had a proof of concept with one of our employees, Carl. That's actually why we call the company 123 Employee, because it all started with one employee, Carl. Today, we have hundreds and hundreds of employees on 3 continents. We estimate about 1,500 people have food on their plate every day in the Philippines because of that one person.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It's amazing the ripple effect that everything has in the universe. So it's pretty neat.
Okay, listen, everybody, we're going to really get deep into how Daven has done this. Daven, today, him and his partners have a company based in the Philippines and 3 other countries with literally hundreds and hundreds of employees that help thousands of businesses around the world. And he started from nothing. We're going to get into some real details, but you also know that every Friday I give away a $100 Visa gift card. And today, Daven's actually got a really cool gift that we're going to give away as well. This is the Virtual Entrepreneurs Association entry-level program. Say again.
Well, actually, no, we're going to give you the full blown. So I'll share with everyone. Is it okay if I plug my book?
Please.
Okay, cool. So I've written a bunch of books over the years. Books have changed everything for me in my life. And today we're talking about the authority factor. You know, first thing that comes to mind is a book. And probably second thing that comes to mind is social media. So a book changes everything for you. It elevates your brand. It becomes your educational tool so that people understand your business. It's certainly, you know, I always see people say, well, it becomes your business card, but it's like to actually relegate it to something like a business card, I think it's really undervaluing it. It's
exactly
a heck of a lot more than a business card.
Yep.
So people come to you pre-sold already, right? Because they've read the book. And even if they haven't read the book, if they have the book, you automatically have that credibility. You can build funnels around the book. Books can be used for so many things. So I've written about 10 books. And my 10th book is out right now. It just hit the shelves. And it's called The Virtual Entrepreneur. But my publisher, Morgan James, to commemorate, it can only fit. Can you go to full screen on me by chance?
I wonder if I can. Yeah, let's check this. I don't know if I can, but I think I can.
Not like it. It's gotta go the other way. Let's see. Perfect. Well, that's good. Go back to that because that's still my full frame. We're just sharing screen. That's perfect. Okay. So my publisher, Morgan James, created this gift box to commemorate the launch of my 10th book and to commemorate the launch of VIA. And let me just open this up. And if you haven't heard of VIA, VIA is the Virtual Entrepreneurs Association. It's all the tools, resources, discounts, education, community that the small business owner needs to grow their business. And I will tell you, you know, people always ask me like, Daven, what's your recipe for success? Because I have this big company, hundreds and hundreds of employees, several centers. And I always say, no secret, I just focus on one thing for a decade. And I will tell you this, if you focus on one thing for a decade, you'll figure it out, right? You'll stumble until you succeed. And so that's what I've been doing. So, but last year I started something new. It was a passion project, and that was VIA. Because when I started my business at 15 years old, it was the most challenging, horrific, horrible, and fun thing I ever did in my life. Because it was fun because I was discovering all this stuff. I was traveling with these amazing bands, and it was the 80s and new wave. I was right on the forefront of new wave. I was there at the beginning of it, and the whole explosion. It was just to put that in perspective. I had bands that were playing little venues, 600 people, and within a year we were playing stadiums. I mean, you just could not imagine what this was like. Right. It was like a dream. But having said that, I had nothing. I really had nothing. So I had no access to resources. I had no education. I was just figuring it out. I had no community. There was no social media yet. I had no money. It was brutally hard, and I don't wish that upon anybody. And I always thought to myself, if I ever pull this off, I'm going to give back. And so VIA was a give back. So last year, in fourth quarter of the year, we launched VIA. And I will tell you this: if you have a successful company and you decide you want to start something new, don't. It's the stupidest thing you could ever do. Like, focus on what's working, right? But I really wanted to do this. My staff thought I was nuts, but eventually they caught my vision. And last year we opened up, and within days we had thousands of people join VIA,
wow.
which was really cool. And my vision for VIA was to create the #1 association of entrepreneurs all over the globe. And we're certainly not there yet, but I feel like we're on our way. So pull back that screen one more time and let me show you what we got here. So when people join VIA, they get this amazing, beautiful membership box that our publisher, Morgan James, created. And inside is a letter from me. And then the hardback commemorative version of my new book, The Virtual Entrepreneur, the one in the bookstores is softback. So this is actually a hardback version. They did a nice job. And all of my past books have been fiction or nonfiction books. This is my first fiction book, and it's a parable. And Ken, as you know, and I know, and what we've learned over the years is that entrepreneurs have a very short attention span, probably 10 times less than everybody else on the planet, right? And I get it because they're always chasing shiny, bright objects, and they're just focused on the business, which has a lot of moving parts. So I've learned over the years, I know you have, is that it's not enough to just educate. Matter of fact, entrepreneurs don't want to be educated today; they want to be edutained, right? Yeah. You have to entertain them to keep them engaged. So I took it to another level, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take the messaging and the things that an entrepreneur needs to know, especially if they want to have a virtual lifestyle and have a business that or a life that they design rather than a life that their business dictates for them, then, if that's what they want, I kind of backdoored it into a fiction piece. And it's a parable. It's a short read. It's fun. It's engaging. It's enjoyable. But the pearls are in here. But it's one thing to have education. It's one thing to have knowledge. But knowledge without action is just knowledge, right? So also in this commemorative box, you get our 90-day success journal. And there's a guided journaling in here. And I promise you that if you follow the steps and chronicle your actions, you will be amazed at the success that you have. And so we're going to give you this. And because these are challenging times and I want to hook you up, we'll also give you 1 year of VIA for free. Okay.
Wow.
Yep. Now we'll give you a year for free. Now, just so you know, it's $200 a year for VIA, which is still very reasonable. I will give you a year free. I'm just going to only ask one thing. I think it's fair. Ken, you tell me if this is okay. And that is, I'm going to give it all to you for free, ship this out to you, I'll give you the membership for a year for free. I'm going to ask you for your credit card. I'm going to ask you to pop it in there because a year from now, when you have tremendous value, then I want you to keep going. But a year from now, you can quit if you want, but I hope you don't. But instead of paying $200 a year, it'll be $57. I think that's fair. Is that okay?
I think it is a fantastic deal, but what they don't understand, and I know we could turn this whole show into what is VIA, the resources that are in there, the corporate deals that you've gone out and established around travel and support and business practices and the partners that you have in there, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars worth of entrepreneurial value that somebody on the show is going to win today.
Yeah, absolutely. So think of VIA as the AAA for business, or if you're not in the States, think of it as the Swiss Army knife for business. And two things under the hood, we have discounts on over 671,000 things that you need to grow your business and live your life. We have world-class education, but we did a major pivot that goes live literally today or tomorrow. And we know that, entrepreneurs are going to have some struggles over the next 12 months. And so inside VIA, our focus is twofold. If you have a business, we're going to help you scale it. And if you don't have a business, we're going to help you find your dream business and then scale it. And that's all under the hood. And also what's missing here, I don't know why this box doesn't have it, but you'll also get a personalized VIA membership card, which will unlock your bonuses, benefits, community events all over the globe, et cetera, et cetera. So one lucky winner.
So the way you get in the draw, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to do two things. Number one, you've got to go into the chat and you've got to type the word outsource. The second thing you have to do is you've got to share the show onto Facebook. So share this show right now live onto Facebook. Let's bring more people into the show because we're going to get into the details now. And you've got to type the word outsource in the comments right now. Do those two things. You're going to get in the draw for the $100 Visa gift card and the full 1 year VIA membership, which I had no idea he was going to do, by the way. I thought it was just the book he was going to give away. Daven, you're a good man. But let's talk about you. I want to talk more specifically about how you took these businesses and scaled them, because as you know, my marquee program is called The Authority Factor. It's the book that I'm writing. It's the services that I provide, and it's all focused on 4 pillars. First, focusing on building yourself, then your following, then your list, and then your income. But it revolves around this social media world we live in today. So the big question I want to start with is, how have you leveraged social media to build this global brand, and how important is it for entrepreneurs to do just that?
Sure. So to really answer that, I have to back up and tell you a little bit about the evolution of both my business and 123. So first of all, I've always been a showman, okay? Because I came out of the entertainment business. I love to perform. And one of the things I love about my business is that I get to travel all over the globe and speak on some of the biggest business stages on the world. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be speaking on your huge stage out in Toronto at the Gary Vee event, right? Which I'm super pumped about. And the bigger the better. I love those stages. And one of the things I love about my business, and I always talk about and show entrepreneurs how to design their dream business. For me, I still wanted to be a performer. I still wanted to perform. And so now as a spokesperson for the company, I speak all over the globe. And that's me getting the performer out of me. And I love doing it. I love that I get to do that. As a matter of fact, we're talking about probably sell the company in the next couple of years. Remember, like Liz and I had a real talk about it the other day.
Wow.
I'm kind of semi-retired a little bit, and just a little bit. But I decided, look, no matter what we do, I'm going to stay on as the spokesperson for whomever we sell to, because I still want to do what I do. I still want to travel and speak and do all that because I love it. So it gives me significance, and it just it juices me. I love helping entrepreneurs. So that was something I always wanted to do. And that, pokes through social media, right? I mean, you may or may not be that kind of a person, and it's okay either way, but you get to convey who you are in social media, right? That's personality, and that you want to, you want to make sure that it pervades the walls of your computers and gets out there to the world. So,
Yep.
so what happened was I'm a thought leader for sure in my space, but I kind of stumbled into that, and then it evolved into thought leadership. So I'll explain. So when I started the company over a decade ago, we started in the space of being virtual assistants for small business people, for entrepreneurs, micropreneurs, and solopreneurs. Today, we still have a huge division that does that, but we're also focused on larger companies doing their customer service, enterprise level companies. Now, when I started the company over a decade ago, we were outsourcing for small businesses. Entrepreneurs needed it. I mean, they were buried, but they knew nothing about outsourcing for entrepreneurs. We were literally the first to market, okay? And I always say that you can always tell the pioneers because they're the ones with the arrows in their back. And that was certainly us. Like in the early days, I was like, we're not gonna stay in business if we don't figure this thing out. I knew that we needed to have a market, and it didn't exist. So we realized early on that if we wanted to have a market, we'd have to carve out that market, literally create it. So we sat down, we're like, how are we gonna do this? And we decided to adopt an educational model. And so I started writing books, eventually became a New York Times bestselling author. I started creating info products. We started doing webinars. I started speaking on stages, and we started doing events all over the globe, Australia, US, Europe, Asia, New Zealand. And we began educating our prospects, and they just automatically became our clients over time. And that's the model that we still use today. What has happened over the last decade is that education has fused with thought leadership, right? So there are different types of thought leaders for sure. There's people in the movies and television, and they're just celebrities, and people follow them, and they want to know what they're wearing and what they're drinking and this and that, which well, I guess that's cool too. Of course, that's cool. But for an educator, thought leadership propels your brand, right? It allows you to speak to more people. As a matter of fact, the biggest shift that took place in our business, we've had several tipping points in our business, but probably one of the biggest shifts was when we went from marketing to one to marketing to many. Yep, and educating and thought leadership allows you to do that. For example, we used to sell one-to-one, and then we started doing webinars, and then I started speaking on stages, and then we started doing our own events, and then I started creating info products, and then I started writing books. Well, if you think about that, every single one of those is marketing to many. If I write a book, 100,000 or hundreds of thousands of people buy that book, right? And so I wrote it once, but lots of people read it. If I'm on a webinar, I'm speaking to hundreds of people. Right now, we're speaking to hundreds of people. If I speak on a stage, I'm speaking to hundreds or thousands or even tens of thousands of people. And if we do one of our events, we're impacting hundreds of people. And once we made that shift, of course, our business grew exponentially because you're speaking to many instead of one each time. But also, as thought leadership came into play, as social media came into play, we were able to build a brand. And I like to think, we're not like Guess Jeans, right? But I like to think that when entrepreneurs think about outsourcing, they think about 1, 2, 3 employee. And there was a hidden benefit that turned out to be huge for us that we never really thought about. So as we're marketing, and as we market today, we're always building 2 brands. We're building the Daven Michaels brand, and we're building the 1, 2, 3 employee brand. The day will come when I will sell my company, but I will not sell my name, right? So, and so we're constantly building. I sell my company. Yeah, my company is gone, but Daven Michaels can go do whatever he wants. He's got big credibility, has a huge following. We estimate that I reach like 1 million people on a monthly basis, and you can even see that on my website. So it's pretty cool. So I had a point with that. What the heck was my point? Oh yes, the hidden benefit. So the hidden benefit is this. When we started, we were the first to market. So we were literally the first in our space. Today, that is certainly not the case. There's a gazillion outsourcing companies out there. The vast majority of them work with larger enterprise level clients, but there are others that work with small companies like us. But they're all outsourcing companies. That's it. What is glamorous or exciting about an outsourcing company? Nothing. Nothing. All right. You just talk about staffing, right? And what's your USP? We're gonna save you money. As a matter of fact, in the early days when we didn't know what the hell we're doing, we used to say, 1, 2, 3 employee, save money, increase productivity. Okay. Well, people don't give a shit about that. They care about the benefit of that, right? Oh, you mean I can actually run my business from a chair on the beach? Oh, I can run my business from anywhere in the world. Oh, I can, have a virtual team. That's what people get excited about, right? And by the way, too, go to davenmichaels.com/media, and you can actually see the reach, okay? And so what happened, and this is huge. So there's a myriad of different outsourcing companies out there. They're all commoditized, okay? All they do is save people money and increase their productivity. But we went way deeper. We started creating programs for entrepreneurs. We started educating our marketplace. And so 2 things happen. One is when people think about outsourcing, they think about 1, 2, 3 when businesses do, but this is really big. So we do a lot of QA with our clients on a regular basis, on a monthly basis. So we're always reaching out to our clients, hey, how are we doing? Now, we hear one of 3 things every single time. One is things are great. 2 is neutral. Or 3 is we're unhappy, okay? And unfortunately, I will never have the perfect business model. I'm in the people business. People are fallible. We'll make mistakes.
Exactly.
Right. Now, we always make it right because we're doing QA. We hear what's up and we fix it. But here's what happens. When people say, oh, I'm unhappy, they always add to that. They say, yeah, I'm upset about my XYZ, but I love 1, 2, 3 employee, but I love Daven. And so they're committed to figuring it out and making it work because they love us. We have stark raving fan clients and prospects all over the globe that follow us that haven't even signed up with us yet. We have a company culture. We have fun at our company. We work hard, we play hard, and that company culture of education pervades our walls. We have 1, 2, 3 employee and Daven Michaels fans all over the world. Show me one other outsourcing company that has that. There are just outsourcing companies. And that is the difference between building a brand and becoming an authority in your space and thought leadership.
Okay, but the question still remains, how did you do it? Because
Okay.
we just showed everybody is this amazing platform that you built. We showed them the websites, but there had to be this point in time where you weren't Daven Michaels, the celebrity superstar, and you were looking at all these social media channels and you were feeling the overwhelm that our viewers are feeling right now. How did you get this all figured out?
Yeah, so one of the pluses that I have, or one of the advantages I have that others don't have, is I have a lot of leverage in my business. So people always see me, they're like, Daven, how are you here, there, this, that, doing, And I go, well, I cheat. I mean, I've got a lot of people doing my stuff for me. So all my people in-house are running my social media, and this is what we do for our clients all over the globe. When we first started 1, 2, 3 employee, 85% of our business was voice-based. Today, 98% of our clients ask us to do some form of social media for them. So that's what we're doing. Because look, the highest and best use of your time is strategizing in your business, doing the income generating activities, the things that actually bring money into your business, that create bottom line results, scaling your company. Certainly, you should not be sitting around doing your social media. You have to do it. It's important, but you should not be doing it. So have somebody else do it for you, right? And that's what we do at 1, 2, 3 employee on a regular basis. But to answer your question, my social media strategy has evolved over the years. It initially started on LinkedIn, right? Because LinkedIn is social media for business people. And in the early days, so much of our business came from LinkedIn. Still today, a lot of it comes from LinkedIn. So in the early days, it was LinkedIn. I, built up a 30,000, first level audience. And then my people are inside LinkedIn all the time, communicating with our network. And that, of course, turns into business. As soon as Twitter went live, I built a big base on Twitter. I don't tweet, but my people are tweeting for me. And the way it works is, I take pictures of the things I'm doing, what have you, and then my team picks it up virtually in the cloud, and then they start posting and writing copy for it, and so on and so forth. Facebook, we definitely, as soon as it came online, we started working pretty diligently in Facebook. On Facebook, we have the Daven Michaels fan page, we have the VIA fan page, we have the 1, 2, 3 employee fan page, but I made a conscious decision, and I don't know whether it's right or wrong, but it seemed to work for me, is that we put the most amount of focus on the Daven Michaels personal page. We just know that people are looking at me personally. Fan pages don't have a ton of engagement. They're important, but they really don't have a ton of engagement. But
they're great for advertising, but they're not great for engagement.
Exactly. But my personal page does. And so we put a lot of work into that. Many people over the years have said, Daven, you should convert your personal page to your business page. Never did it. And so it has limitations, but we still market on both.
Yep.
And then YouTube, and you and I were talking about this before we went live. YouTube is funny because I've had a YouTube channel for over a decade, never put any focus on it, but as just a result of, it being our video hosting service, I did have about 15 million views a while ago. I think it's, for some reason, it's around 10 million, I think maybe some dropped off or something. But yeah, and that did a couple things. That made us an international brand, which changed everything for us, international business. But also just one of my videos went viral during one of my book launches, pushed the book over the edge, made it a New York Times bestseller, and that changed my entire life, changed the life of my family, changed the life of my business, because it certainly it really increased our reach and our credibility, and that was huge. So we're focused on all that. Now we're semi-focused on Instagram. So I think we should talk about Instagram and YouTube for a second. So, you can be on all social media, but as you probably know, certain social media lends to specific things. So, if you're in the fashion biz, you should be all over Instagram. If you're a millennial and you've got like a real hip brand, you should be all over Instagram. That should be your focus. If you have an outsourcing company, Instagram should not be your focus. If you're Daven Michaels, a little bit of focus so that people know that I'm there. You want to be on everything. So we are putting, we have been putting a little more focus on Instagram, and even organically, I think I have like 60, 70,000 followers, which is cool. Even though we haven't put much into it. And then YouTube. So YouTube, this is embarrassing because I have so much leverage. All my stuff is being taken care of except YouTube. So YouTube, we have almost 10 million views. And I actually started a podcast several years ago. It was called The Jet Set Entrepreneur, and it was cool, but I didn't love it. It was really cool, but I didn't love doing it. I didn't love being committed to it. And after a very short while, I lost interest in it. I thought, what's my medium? And my medium is actually video. Now, that's not for everybody, but for me, it's video. And so I'm like, I don't like having to know that I have to record this audio podcast every week. But believe it or not, I don't mind having a video crew following me around every single day. I just don't care. That's a lot of people would find that very invasive, and it is. But I don't care. And my friends and family, they get used to it. They think it's a little weird that I always have camera crews following me around, but I just don't care. So, I
got to stop you here for a second, because we brushed over something that I think is crucially important. Everybody here on the show, you heard Daven say, I've got my people doing it for me. I've got them posting on social media. I've got them doing all these things. So I met Daven first at a live event that I produced with Ryan Anderton and Cynthia Stone in Toronto about a year ago. And Daven's whole presentation was about outsourcing and how you could literally get more of your time. And I listened to the presentation. And it's probably one of the first times I have ever bought a program at one of my own events.
Remember that.
But it blew my mind, and because I really believed him when I got a chance to hear what he had to say. So the part I want to make sure you guys didn't miss is when he's saying my people are doing it, what he's really saying is I, Daven Michaels, have a virtual assistant. And that virtual assistant is taking all of my pictures that they're finding on my personal page, and they're creating little memes out of them and putting words on them, and they're doing all the social media posting. So I, Daven Michaels, don't have to do it. The other thing that is really important to tie into right here, and then we're going to talk about this in detail, Daven's got a virtual assistant that farms LinkedIn for him and generates leads and books appointments and sells products and services. It's all systemized through a virtual assistant. Is there anything about what I just said, Daven, that isn't accurate?
No, it's 100% accurate. Yep. And we do that for our clients as well.
All right.
And the interesting thing, and what's really cool, and I love to do this with my friends. So quite often I will be hanging out and having lunch with my friends, and I will open up my phone and I'll open up my texts, and they will see these messages going back and forth. Hey, bud, how's it going? Da, 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 da. Oh, it's good, man. How you doing? Oh, good. Hey, listen, we're doing a launch in September. Are you down to support? Yeah, I'm in. Okay, cool. Send me a link. And they're laughing their ass off because it's not me. Okay, now I will tell you this in all transparency. My friends always wonder whether they're really talking to me or not. And we do a hybrid. So what happens is my people reach out. They know my voice, and I have all kinds of people. But my actual executive assistant, LJ, has been with me for a decade. She handles those messages because she knows those people. She knows how I speak, how I think. So she's like, hey, bud, how's it go? She's not like, hey, Jason. It's like, hey, bud, how's it going? Da, 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 what are you doing? Da, da, this, that.
You?
What's that?
You've trained her to be you?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah. Oh, 100%. And so she's in my everything too. You email me, she's seeing it. You text me, she's seeing it. And you don't know whether you're talking to me or not. And so she'll do all that. And then let's say the person says, yeah, Dev, I want to talk to you more about, I don't just want to commit right now. Let's talk a little further. Oh, no problem. Here's my link. Drop on my schedule. And then when they do, they're talking to me because I don't have LJ, for any of me.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes I'll even hop into a conversation if it's required, right? So if she gets stumped, then I jump in. So that's why my friends never know whether it's really me or not. But they all think like, if it's not him, how the hell is he doing this? But this is how we do it, because the more you invest into your virtual team, the more you get out of it. So the more you train them, the more you let them get to know your voice, the more they're going to really become like an extension of you. So I did want to make one last point. We were talking about social media and platforms.
Yep.
You can't focus on all of them. You need to pick the one that matches your brand or your business and your personality. So to wrap up that thought, my podcast was just it wasn't my personality. Now, having said that, we're looking at bringing it back. We're going to do it via podcast. It is what it is. But what my personality is YouTube and video. And so we have we started shooting a vlog, and it's broadcast quality. It's like a television show because I used to produce television. So it's real TV. And we shot 350 daily episodes, and I still haven't released the damn thing, which that's the embarrassing thing. So it's beautiful. And the reason I haven't put it out there yet is, and this totally goes against everything I teach and preach. Like I tell people, I said, don't sit on what you create, get it out there, right? And I tell people leverage, and I do it in everything. This is the only thing I haven't done. Now I've leveraged the production of it. We have editing teams all over the globe. We have shooting teams all over the globe. I mean, sure. It's super leveraged, but we haven't put it out yet because I have a very specific content aggregation model for release, and it takes a lot of work, and I just haven't had it done.
It's the painter's house.
Yeah, I know. I'm so stupid though. I have to get it out. And here's the sad thing about it is when we started shooting it, a vlog was really like, ooh, a vlog. Now everybody and the brother has a vlog. So luckily mine is super high quality, but had we released it years ago, we would have got major traction on it. Instead, we've just been sitting on it. It's embarrassing. So
hey guys, if you have any questions about like implementing a virtual assistant into your business, we've got Daven here. Grabbed him. He's literally undistracted by anything else. Drop your questions in the comments and I'll make sure that he answers every one of those questions. So what I'm talking about, if you're a business owner, if you're watching this show, if you've got this idea in your head that you need a virtual assistant and it's going to make it easier, but you're not quite sure, like, how does it fit into your business specifically? Those are the types of questions I want you to drop in the chat right now so we can go through that stuff together. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and while we're looking at that too, I love like acknowledging people. So let's say hi to some of the people there. So I see we've got Wasi and Craig and Dr. Jennifer. Good to see you. There's Tab, Colin, and Ryan Anderton's on there. What's up, brother? And it was really, I think it was kind of Ryan it was Ryan that I initially met in your camp. I know Ryan's your partner, so we were the first to meet. But then I don't know how I ended up circling back to you. But then I had Danella.
You found those ads that we were running, and then you had another one of your people reach out.
That's right, because I saw you had an event going on, and then I had Danella reach out. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways,
you see Colin there says, Daven, do you have an affiliate program?
We do. Normally it's a closed program. We don't really give it out. We give it to our clients.
Yeah, we're not going to here, but there's a program that Colin's inside of the Easier Life Academy community. So,
okay. So you can give it to him. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get them.
Just give enough people enough to want to know more about what we're doing in September. You're going to try and break a record.
Yes, absolutely. And also there was something I just thought of on the affiliate tip. Oh, yeah. You wanted to ask me how important joint ventures and affiliates are to my business.
I've got that written down. We're not
Okay, cool. So then in that case, well, actually, I guess this kind of leads to it. So great question. So I do I do a launch every once in a while, maybe once a year or every 2 years in my business. And they're always very interesting. As a matter of fact, I always create something totally new, cutting edge. It even hurts my brain. And so I'll give you an example of some of those. So we did a huge launch several years ago that became my New York Times bestselling book. And the goal of that launch was to hit the New York Times bestseller list and to do it without costing me any money. And I did it. Okay, I hacked that. It was a growth hacking strategy. So then, and I pioneered that. It was new. So several years ago, our last big mega launch was the Social Sonic launch. So I created a software application that allowed you to dip into a database of 300 million contacts and generate leads on autopilot. And I'm not in the software business. I own a small software company, and we're buying another one right now. But that's not my prime business. I'm in the business of selling human capital. But once in a while, I will do these kind of launches like a software launch, and I'll bundle it with a virtual assistant to run it for them. And that's how I sell more human capital. So in 2016, I guess, it's been a while. God, where's the time go? We did this. That was, Social Sonic was just a couple years ago, I think, maybe 2 or 3. But anyways, we did the Social Sonic launch. And we did about 1.3 million in 30 days, which was cool. But my goal was to sell more human capital. What really happened is we brought on 1,300 new customers to 123 Employee, added about 4.5 million to our annual bottom line.
Wow.
And that was really huge. So in September, we're doing our biggest launch ever. It's our LCS2 launch, or LCS squared. And so we are in the process of buying a software company, and we're buying their software suite. And one of those is a platform called Lead Conversion, LCS, a lead conversion system. And think of it as like Zoho Suite. Zoho meets Infusionsoft. So you can have pipelines, and you have automated texts and so on and so forth. A lot of the stuff that my VAs do, it's done automatically. And so we are launching that in September. I think we're going to do 20 mil. I mean, I think it's going to be the biggest launch of the year. And so I'm super pumped about it. It is an insane system. I mean, you want to talk about putting your lead gen on steroids. It's pretty intense. And it comes with a virtual assistant to generate 1,000 leads for you every single month on what we were talking about earlier, LinkedIn. So I'm super pumped about it. I know that the Easier Life Mastery crew is going to be involved in this. So I'm pumped about that. And and if you want, we can talk about how affiliates are a part of our business.
Talk generally about 123 Employee, because I know you don't know this yet, but I went behind your back to your team, and I got your marquee program, and I cut out all the extra costs without you even knowing, and I'm going to offer it to everybody at the end of this.
Okay. All right.
So at the live events, the program I bought originally, I paid $1,000 US upfront for it.
Yeah.
Talk about what's in that program really quickly, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So that's it was our new Wealth and Freedom lifestyle program that later became our P2P program, Process to Profits. It's just been really evolving over the years. It's a killer program. It comes with my education. It comes with lifetime attendance to our Process to Profit weekends, where we show you how to process out everything in your business so that your business becomes a McDonald's. So you can scale it, but you can also drop people that don't know your business into it, and they can run the system that is your business. What we learned over the years is that most entrepreneurs, they have no system in their business. They're just haphazardly all over the place. And unfortunately, that's why entrepreneurs fail at outsourcing. So they basically hire a virtual assistant. They expect that person to be the chief strategist in their business rather than a task executor. Mm-hmm. And they say, run my business. And the VA goes, I don't even know your business. So what we do is we realize that. And so you come to one of these weekends, we create all your processes for your business. You can come over and over as you create more businesses. Then we can drop a VA into that, run it for you. So the program comes with our education, comes with our events, comes with some lead gen software, and comes with typically about 30 hours of service. Sometimes we do more for your people, but typically it comes with 30 hours of service at 1, 2, 3 employee to get them started. It gives them everything they need. It gives them the education. It gives them the plan. It gives them some software, and it gives them a VA to actually make sure it gets done, as opposed to just being left on the shelf. So that's one of our cornerstone products.
So this offer comes with 120 hours.
Okay, for you, yes.
There's some questions like
that's the special I make no money bonus for Ken. By the way, there's a reason for this. When I sell your people the program, Ken, we literally don't make any money. But honestly, I'm a visionary, right? I'm not short-sighted in my business strategy. So our goal is to have Stark raving fan clients at 1 to 3 employee because they stay with us for a long time. And that's how we've been able to build a big business. And we have lots of small clients, but once in a while we hit a home run and they go from 1 or a half an employee to 10, 20, 30. One of our clients, Eric, last year went to 150, became a multi-million-dollar account for us. So we kind of incubate businesses and grow with them. We become their trusted partner.
Well, I love it. I think it's brilliant because
cool.
I jumped into the program originally because it came with all that support. Like I've known for years I needed a virtual assistant, but every time I tried, I just got overwhelmed and I didn't know how to train them. I didn't know how to really get them engaged in doing the things that raised revenue. But your program comes with the learning side of this. So you get held by the hand. You get to interview several different VAs to find the one that fits. And then you get an account overview person that teaches you how to work with the VA. And literally the whole focus is on seeing some type of tangible increase in the first 30 days. Yeah,
for sure. Exactly. And that's what we do. In the first 30 days, we really try to identify the lowest hanging fruit, build out a process for that, and get it going. And then from there, you come to one of the weekends and build out your entire business process.
Yeah, exactly. So listen, here's the bottom line for there's a couple more questions I want to get into joint venturing with Daven, and this is the most important part of our time together, but I can see all the questions that are coming in the chat. If you're interested in getting a virtual assistant, helping you in your business, using the program that we've been alluding to, I just want you to type the word "me" in the chat below. And if there's enough of you that are interested, I'll give you the transparent answer. I'm going to put a link in the notes to the show that's going to send you over to a page where you can actually jump into their program. But here's what's the crazy part is it's half price. Like he never does this. And he's going to call somebody in his team afterwards that I kind of went behind him to get this figured out. So it's like $500 up front that you get everything that we've talked about. You get the one-on-one support to get up. You get to interview the virtual assistants. You get everything that you need, a training program. And if you're part of my community, we're actually inside of the community for the people that jump into this. We're going to start doing a weekly mastermind session just with us, without our virtual assistants, so we can talk about what we're seeing with our virtual assistants and how we can get them working more. So we're going to share ideas. If that's something that's interesting to you, type "me" in the comments. And as soon as the show is over, I'll add a link that you can go right to that link, pay the $500. You're going to get an onboarding call from Daven's team within 24 hours. They hold your hand like you've never seen before. And think about this. I pay about $1,400 a month. My virtual assistant, Pam, now is my right arm. And she literally is involved in everything that I'm doing. Daven's team's goal is to get you so in love with what they do in that first 30 days that you're going to keep that person, because that person becomes an extension of your business. And that's the way they manage this, is keeping you happy, keeps you paying the salary of the individual. I think it's freaking brilliant. That's why they, in the city of Davao, where this headquarters of the company is, I actually visited there. I heard stories from government officials about Daven Michaels. I heard stories from police officers.
Didn't do it. I didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you guys type me in the chat. We'll make sure we get that to you. It'll be in the notes here. I'll even, if you stick around to the end, I'll give you the link right now so you can jump on it. Actually, I can probably do that really quickly. Let me just take that, put that right in the link. You guys can, for you, if you're here, yeah, there you go. You guys want to grab that right now, just go ahead. And just in case you missed, in case you might not have heard that clearly, this major launch that Daven is talking about in September, it's going to pay out millions of dollars to us, to affiliates.
Yeah,
and our affiliate marketing community, Easier Life Academy, is participating. So this is one of the upcoming scheduled events that we're a part of. So don't worry, you're not going to miss the boat on that either.
Yeah, and also we're giving away $1 million in cash. And if we hit a 3.5 million on day one, which is ClickBank's 1 day record, I'm giving away my BMW i8. So there you go.
All right. So what I think of everything I've watched you as you built your authority platform, the thing that has impressed me the most is every time I try to introduce somebody to you, you already know them.
Yeah.
The joint venture relationships that you've managed to build, because this is one, like Russell Brunson and many people call it the Dream 100 list. There's all kinds of different names for it. But your ability to create these partnerships and get people involved in helping you through joint ventures is second to none. Yes. Talk to people about the impact that that's had on your business, and how did you do that? How did you start winning these partnerships?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So early on, when we started 123 Employee, we started our affiliate program. I remember when it was, because in the early days of 123, we were in 3 platforms. It was kind of pathetic. So I was in constant contact for decades because I had my original list from my older businesses. So I was in constant contact. And then constant contact was not, we needed a CRM. Yeah. So we had this global, we had this CRM that connected us all up globally, all our different offices. And it was, yeah, I mean, it was what it was. I guess it was good for the time. And then we had just started using One Shopping Cart, which was kind of one of the first cart systems for our brand. And so we were in 3 different systems. It was absurd. So if you requested information, somebody entered you into all 3 systems. I mean, can you imagine? Okay. So one day our VP Bijal came to me and said, Dav, he said, we have to sign up for Infusionsoft. And I was like, oh God, shoot me dead. Because at the time, Infusionsoft had a horrible reputation. Today, I love Infusion. But they had a horrible reputation at the time. They used to call them Confusionsoft. Yeah. But not anymore. It's a great company. And I have to say, it's really a testament to the company to come from that to create what they've created. And people bash them still, but they're great. Anyways, so we moved to Infusionsoft, and our people worked around the clock for days migrating everything, and then we turned it on, nothing worked, and it was horrible. And I was so angry at them because we called them and they acted as if this had never happened to anybody except us. But they had this reputation of Confusionsoft. So it was just terrible. But eventually it all worked out, and that was awesome. So once we were up in Infusionsoft, we had an affiliate program because these different platforms allow for that. So that's when we started. And affiliates have been a piece of our business. I won't say it's like a huge chunk of our business, but it's a piece of our business every year. We've had about $1 million a year in affiliate commissions. And I love paying that. This year, if all goes right, we'll pay 10 million, 10 times what we normally pay in affiliate commissions. And every time I pay a dollar to an affiliate, I know they're going to send me back a few. And so that's what's so cool. And quite often I'll ask people from stage, I'll say like, who wants to have affiliates? Everybody wants to, because there's no risk. I say, how much does it cost you? A lot of people say nothing. I go, no, not true. It's actually expensive traffic you'll buy, much, much more expensive than, printed advertising and buying traffic, but no risk, right? You only pay for what you receive. It's found money. And so many people, not so many people, but people in my space have, sometimes they move away, like they get to a certain level and they stop working with affiliates. And I don't understand why. We actually thought about it a couple times, because sometimes affiliates are flaky and they don't follow through with what they say they're going to do. And I've gotten pissed a couple times. And I say, what? We're not going to work with affiliates anymore. Screw it. But we always come back, because how can you have an income stream of a couple million a year and say no to it? Right. Like that? Come on, are you nuts? I don't care what you have to say. You can badmouth it all you want, flaky people, whatever. Why would you say no to that business? It's found money. So to answer your question, Ken, I have been growing that list for years in a few ways. One is when you become a thought leader, it goes from push to pull. Okay, so you're not necessarily banging on everyone's door. They're banging on your door to work with you. Now, you do get calls and stuff, but the big difference is if I reach out to a big affiliate that I may not have a relationship with, and I text them and I don't know them, I say, hey, it's Daven Michaels. By the way, it's not me doing it, it's my assistants. But they say, hey, it's Daven Michaels. We've never had a chance to work together, but I sure would love to. Would you be game for jumping on a call and exploring synergies? And 9 out of 10 times they say yes, because they know who I am, right? That's the authority factor. That
right.
opens doors for you. Otherwise, if I didn't know them and they didn't know me, I'd text them and they would report me and my phone would get shut off, right? I mean, so that's push to pull, right? It's a whole different dynamic. In addition to that, I have had my team growing that list, doing data mining, and growing the list and updating the list for years and years and years. I have the biggest list of joint venture partners probably in the entire space. And we have our joint venture partners are our affiliates. So let me explain that distinction. So we probably have about 6,000 or 7,000 affiliates at 123 Employee. I don't know any of them. They're all small. They might send me a deal a year. Okay, but combined, that's a lot. I call them my invisible workforce. I don't know any of them, but I love them to bits. But then we have what we call our joint venture partners. And what is a joint venture partner? It's just another affiliate, but we use the term JV and we place a different distinction on that. So our joint venture partners are our big boys and girls, like Ken, people that are thought leaders in their own space, people that can generate, rather than a sale a year, anywhere from 10,000 to 150,000 in about an hour and a half. Okay. Now I know every single one of them by name. Most of them I consider to be my best friends. We travel the globe together. We take incredible trips together. We do lavish dinners and trips. I spend lots of money on them, and they love me for it, and they do the same for me. Why wouldn't you? If you have a friend that you can make a ton of money on, why not send them beautiful gifts and go out and have amazing travel experiences with them? Why not? I mean, that's marketing, right? And it's just fun. And so as a result, I probably have about 600, maybe. Yeah, maybe six. I want to say 600 to 800, but probably more like 600 or 700 joint venture partners. They're also my best friends, and I will tell you, if you want to take a relationship to the next level, have a best friend that you make money with. It's the ultimate. And what's cool is, like, I have my best friend Chris. He is my ultimate best friend. He's my best friend in the whole world. We've been friends for 30 plus years. I love him to bits. He is my best friend. But when I call him and I go, dude, let's go skiing in the Alps or snowboarding in the Alps, or let's go spend a week on a private island, he can't go because he has a job. He makes a lot of money, but he has a job. But my joint venture partners, they're all self-employed. They're all making a bunch of money, and they're all in the same space as me. So when I say, hey, let's go spend a week on a private island and we'll mastermind and work on each other's businesses, we both know we're going to add a zero to our business. And we're going to have the time of our lives, right? So these are my closest friends. Some of my best buddies, not my best friends, but best buddies like Ken. My kids play with their kids. We travel all over the globe together. We do all kinds of cool stuff. And I will tell you, nothing is funner. Nothing's funner. Just one of the things I do is every year I take a cruise with my biggest affiliates, my best buds. We're on our 10th year now. We end up going to the same stupid ports every year, but we don't care. We just love hanging out, and we have the time of our lives. We look forward to it every single year. And my business goes up every time I do it because we're rekindling, reconnecting, reaffirming our friendship / business relationship. Did that answer your question?
Totally did.
Cool.
How does somebody get started in it? How do you find your first joint venture partners? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah. So the scale of your the size of your joint venture partners is in direct correlation to your reach. And quite frankly, I usually say your list. You'll see a lot of these millennial thought leaders, and I don't want to poo-poo on them, but they don't have a list. They're all like on a platform like Instagram, which is cool as long as Instagram never shuts down your account for some sort of abuse or it changed their model or something like that. I would be pretty petrified if my entire list was in a social media platform. Luckily, it's not. My entire platform is my list. I use social media to back that up. So the bigger your list, the bigger boys and girls you get to play with. So in the early days, you don't have a big list. You're going to work with people that don't have a big list too. And that's cool. You just keep doing it, and then your list gets bigger and their list gets bigger, and everybody's winning. And now you go to somebody that's got 10,000 on their list or 20,000 on their list. And by the way, people want to have more joint venture relationships. So initially you might have a small list, 500 people, 1,000 people. You're going to work with little people. You get up to about 5 or 6K. Now look for the people that have 10,000 on their list. They'll work with you if you have 5 or 6. The guys with 50,000 or 100,000 probably are not going to work with you, but one slightly higher will. And then what happens? They're going to grow your list faster, right? And then you're going to go in the 10s. And when you hit 12, 13, 14K, start talking to people that have 20K on their list. And that's how you do it.
Pretty well, the takeaway from this, though, is it starts with one. Like, find out the people that are in the same space or related spaces to you. And you've got to be willing to make those initial first contacts, which is a really great reason you should get in on this offer and get your own virtual assistant through 123 Employee, because you can give your virtual assistant a list of ideal JV partners for you, and your virtual assistant can send out the first emails and book the appointments for you and really make this whole process easier. Is that correct, Daven?
That is totally true. That's absolutely true. And by the way, I have a call coming up right now. I'm just going to drop on Skype and tell them that I'll be a few minutes. I know that some people had some questions. Should we address some of those?
Yeah, we're going to go through a couple questions. If you want to just tell them that really quickly, we'll be another 5 minutes. We're going to do the draws here in a second.
Cool. Sounds good. Sounds good. So let's see. Questions?
What do we got here?
So let's see.
Like, the questions are all coming around, how do I get started with this? Yeah, so Karen said, I'm looking to get a VA involved in my business, a little frustrated by it. How do I get started? Whole of Success said, what's the average cost to hire and how many weeks is typically needed to start up a business?
All right, so you can go to 123employee.com to get started. We have part-time and full-timers. So our best value is full-time, $13.87 a month. For a full-time employee, 160 hours a month. We have 80 hours a month, which is $8.97. The price went up. And we have 40 hours a month, which is $5.97. We can tailor make some smaller packages for you if you really need it, but we like to start at 40 hours. Just go to 123employee.com. We bridge a lot of the challenges, as far as, needing processes and so on and so forth. We can help you out with that as well. Let's see, what's another question, Ken?
Isn't this platform great? There's all the questions right there.
I love it. I was going to say something. I think it's so cool. I can't wait to use this. We're going to use this on our launch, so pretty pumped.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I think we got most of them covered. Let's jump right into the draws.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
All right, so friends, let me just tell you one more time. In order for you to be in these draws, you have to subscribe to the channel, you've got to share the show, and you've got to type outsource in the comments below. So go ahead. If you haven't done that, I'm going to count down from 10 and give you a chance to do that right now. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And by the way, while you're doing that, Karen had a question. She said, where are the workshops? Karen, we do them all over the globe, but more often than not, we do them in Vegas.
Okay, we're just writing down the last two names, so just bear with me for a second.
Take your time. Wasi says, would my VA generate leads? Absolutely. We do that all day long. Sure.
Yep, that's exactly what happens. It's crazy.
And then Martin said, hey, I'm 78. All my friends are dead. You're building a network marketing opportunity. Martin, that's what you use VAs for. So they go out and they generate leads for you. So these are people outside your warm market.
The VA can, like for network marketers, the VA will literally go into Facebook, into LinkedIn, and start prospecting for you and book the appointments. I mean, anybody in network marketing that's not using a VA doesn't know they exist.
Exactly. Yep. I'm just looking. Karen, I saw you had some more. Okay, so Karen, I think we answered your question on how to get started, pricing, what have you. Ryan, good to see you, buddy. Okay, I have finished already. How can I get it to the call? Okay, so Wasi, your question was you're a financial advisor and how do you get VAs to set up appointments qualifying for you? That's what we consider PA work, personal assistant work. We do it all day long, so no problem at all.
Ryan's asking, so I can get a VA to do direct message data mining.
Yeah, absolutely. Data mining is probably the number one thing that and social media, which are kind of hand in hand, is probably the top things we do at 123. Let's see. Craig asked, what's the vlog? So Craig, if you go to YouTube and you type in Daven Michaels, you'll see my channel. The vlog is called the Jet Set Entrepreneur. Yeah. So we just call it the same thing that we initially called the podcast. Let's see. Somebody asked about, Colin, we do have an affiliate program. You need to get our services or buy one of our programs that will make you an affiliate, or butter up Ken. He'll tell you.
Colin, don't have to worry about it. It's part of the program that we're launching a little bit later on next month. You'll be involved in that for sure.
Yeah.
Hole-in-One Success says we'll check out the site. No, all you have to do, you're already in the programs. Click on that link I put in there. Just pay the $500. It'll be the best investment you ever did. Okay, let's do these draws here. The first one I want to do is the $100 Visa gift card. And the winner of that $100 Visa gift card today is Hole-in-One Success. I don't know who that is. I think that is a gal that just joined our online course builder community, but you just won a $100 Visa gift card. What I need you to do is to put your email address in the chat here, and my virtual assistant will see that, and she'll contact you, get your address, and we'll get that $100 Visa gift card in the mail to you. The next draw is this crazy package that Daven told you about. So this is his new book. It's his success journal and a year membership in VIA, and that's going to Ryan Anderton.
You know what? I'll give him one free anyway. You should give one away to somebody else.
All right, I was gonna say
I'll bring one for him.
That's hilarious. Who do we got here? Martin Beebe. If you're still here, Martin, I think it's Beebe, Beebe. If you're still here. So we've got Hole-in-One Success, won the $100 Visa gift card. Tammy Gibson, go ahead and put your email address in the chat. I see Tammy said Tammy Gibson. Put your email address in the chat. And then, of course, Martin Beebe, if you're still here, put your email address in the chat right now so we know you're here. You got to be here to win. Martin Beebe, put your email address in the chat. Going once. Oh, I hate to do this. Oh, there he is. Perfect. Okay, great. Daven, it's been an awesome, awesome pleasure to be here with you today. I learned a couple new things that I didn't even know before. I always do. The big thing that you and I are going to talk more about in the future that you said that I've never used language before, but it's brilliant. You've got to be a performer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And that was the big aha for me today. You've got to want to be a performer.
Yeah, and look, I don't want to scare people away because there's a lot of introverted people out there. But I think the bigger point is that do your social media, do your thought leadership, whatever it may be, but do something that matches your personality, right? So if you're a performer, get out there and perform. And if you're not, choose something different. If you like to be on camera, do video. If you don't like to be on camera, do audio. If you don't like to do audio, write blog posts and articles and books. So you get to decide.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Ken, I always love hanging out with you too. And learning so much from you as well. So appreciate it.
If you guys have any thoughts or comments, go ahead and put them in the comments below. If you're watching this on a replay, put your questions in there. We'll check them regularly. And make sure you're back here next Friday. I've got literally one of the top podcasters in the world that's going to come on the show, tell you how he started in podcasting. Now he's teaching podcasting to other people, and it's going to be amazing. We'll see you next Friday. You'll have to show up to see it.
Oh, man, you'll tell me.
His name is Zachary Babcock.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard his story, but unbelievable story. Was a con, spent about 8 years in jail. His podcast is literally hitting one. It's competing with Brendan Bouchard right now. And if you don't know the name, I will definitely introduce you to him.
I was going to ask you, could you? Yeah, I'd love to get him in on the launch. That'd be cool.
Absolutely, you will. All right, folks. Thanks a lot. We'll see you guys all soon.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.